All right. There are players who are known for their individual records, for all their feats that they've achieved over the years. There are players who are known for their trophies, their silverware, for their success on the pitch. There are players who are known for their controversies on and off the pitch, and why they got famous or infamous. But then there are players who are known for how integral they were to the success of their teams, how important and significant they were to make their teams what they became at the end, how much of a role that they played in their team's success ultimately, and in all the trophies that they won over the years, and all the trophies that their teams won over the years, and all the feats that they achieved. There are players who we know as the streets won't forget type of players. I think Antoine Griezmann is one of those players. Let's talk about him, shall we? All right. Griezmann was a player who was never meant to succeed. He was never meant to be here. All that is done all over the years, he was never meant to do all of that. He was rejected by many academies. He was just not accepted into the footballing world. He was never recognized. He still isn't given as much recognition as other players are, and he still isn't considered as one of the best. I mean, people do bring him up sometimes when talking about some of the best players of this generation, but Griezmann is never a player who was brought up into the top 5, the top 10 conversations. And I think he should be. I think a player of his caliber, of his achievements, all that he's done in football, all that he's contributed to the modern game, even creating sort of a unique role in teams, whether it be Atletico, whether it be the French national team. He has been a trailblazer. He has been a one-of-a-kind player. He has been the player who is the out-and-out attacker, who has been the star of the team. And he has also been the player who practically does everything there is to do in a team. He has been the leader of the team. He has been the rookie. He has been the young prodigy. He has been the veteran who basically took his team single-handedly to major tournament finals. And he still kind of plays that role in Atletico, even though his form has now dipped and he's now old and he's not the player that he once was. He doesn't have that speed anymore. He still has that intelligence, but his body just doesn't allow it anymore. Griezmann's story started with Real Sociedad taking a chance on him, integrating him into their academy, and then giving him chances in La Liga, which he paid off really well. That was a great return on investment. Griezmann bagged 52 goals for Real Sociedad, if I remember the correct figure. That is a great figure for Real Sociedad over the course of 4 years, considering that he was still a very young, still a rookie at that point. And then Atletico cashed in on him. I think it was a club record transfer at the time in 2014. And he was the perfect player for Atletico. He was the perfect player in a team which required a great work rate and also a solid defense, especially a solid defense, as Atletico and Simeone are known for. Griezmann just fit into their system. Griezmann was the guy. He was the player for Atletico. And that is when he really started to shine. He practically took Atletico to all the heights that they achieved in those years. They went to the Champions League final. They won the Europa League. France even reached the Euros finals, and they didn't even have the best of teams at the time, as the team that they had in the 2018 World Cup, the team that they had in the 2021 Nations League, the 2022 World Cup. Griezmann was the key to the successes of all these teams in all those years. And he got overshadowed in all those years by Mbappe, or maybe at Atletico because of other players. But he was the was focal point of all these teams. He was the key. He was the player that held it all together. And that was so visible when he went to Barcelona in 2019. I mean, Atletico did succeed even after he went to Barcelona. They did win the La Liga, and it's a surprise that Griezmann has still not won the La Liga. He is an Atletico legend. He is a France legend. But he is still a very underappreciated player. He's the kind of player who went from the star of his teams to the kind of player that became the link between the attack and defense. He transformed his role according to his age and his abilities. He transformed the role according to Deschamps' tactics, according to Simeone's tactics. But that didn't happen in Barcelona. That didn't happen in Barcelona because Messi was already the star of the team. And when Griezmann came into Barcelona, he was also the star of Atletico in France. So there was this clash. There was this clash of what Griezmann could do in a team and what Barcelona were trying to do. Barcelona were still warped around Messi. Barcelona still functioned around Messi as the central point of that team. And Griezmann just couldn't do it in such a system. Griezmann had to be the focal point of his team as well. But at Barcelona, Griezmann was largely restricted to a left-wing role or other roles, whatever he did at the time. And that is why he never succeeded at Barcelona. He still got 35 goals for Barcelona, which is not a bad number in my opinion for a player who is still struggling in a team. But it wasn't anywhere near the figures that you would expect from Griezmann, who was in his prime at the time, and who was the kind of player who everybody considered to be one of the best in the world. He got number 3 at the Ballon d'Or. He was in the conversations for overtaking the throne of football from Ronaldo and Messi. Griezmann's role mainly revolved around being the main attacker in the beginning of his career, in the first half of his career, and even through majority of his career. And that's why he succeeded at Sociedad, at Atletico, and initially at France. But then after the Barcelona stint, his form dipped, and when he came back to Atletico, he regained his form because of the new role that he transitioned in, the new role that he adopted. And Simeone has helped him so much. Simeone deserves a lot of credit for developing Griezmann. He basically owes a lot of his career and his success to Simeone. Simeone, in my eyes, is a legend. But since the 22-23 season at Atletico, he was back in form. He was scoring. He transitioned into more of a central midfielder role. He became the link between the attack and the core midfield, and it was such a unique role because he would link up play between the attackers and the midfield. He would also do some defensive duties, and it was so hard for anyone to track him. It was so hard to keep up with what he was trying to do, because Griezmann became that player who would cause troubles without even scoring, and he ended up surpassing Thierry Henry's record for most assists for France. He ended up creating such a role for him that I think it would be more of a role in the coming years. It would be more appreciated in the coming years. But the reason why France were so good from 2015-ish to 23-ish was Griezmann. I know Mbappe came into the setup in 2018, and even others like Giroud and Lloris and other players were a crucial part of it, even Pogba. But Griezmann was the glue that kept it all together. He was the reason why France went into the final of the 22 World Cup, and why they lost by only 1 goal in the final. Griezmann was the man of the match in the 2018 World Cup final. He was the man of the match in the 2022 World Cup semi-final against Morocco when France won 2-0. I know his form has dipped in the recent years, especially this year, and now Finally, he's getting some goal ins after that 22 game drought or something. But his importance and his significance and his achievements with Atletico and the national team, they can't be overshadowed, they can't be underestimated, they can't be underrated. And we will look at him as a player who could do anything. He was the all-round player. He was the complete player, as you can call him. Griezmann was a ray of hope for Atletico. He was a ray of hope for France. He was a unique player. He has been such a unique player. I mean, I'm talking about him like he's gone or something. He has been so good because he has that vision for the game. He has the ability to drop deep. He has that ability to function into the midfield. He has that ability to keep the defense in check. He has the vision for the game. He has the ability to find spaces that no one else does. He has that ability to connect players, to connect the parts of the team that no one else even thinks of doing during the game. Earlier, he used to be a much faster player. Earlier, he used to be a much more anxious player in terms of getting into the box and scoring those goals. But now that he doesn't have all that speed, and he hasn't had it in the past few years, he has transitioned into the more laid-back role, into the more dropping deep role, where he basically orchestrates how the team works, how Atletico functioned and how France functioned at the 22 World Cup. He has been the maestro of this team, so in a way. And that is why these teams have been so good in the recent years. He has been probably one of the top 5, 7, 10 best players of this past generation, of this past decade. And it would be so wrong to not include him in the list, because he has transformed the game. He has created a new game for young players. He has created a new game for players to come, and he has created that role for attacking midfielders, for number 7s, that no one else is going to do that for some time now, and he's going to be looked at as a modern icon in this game. Even then, his accomplishments have been extraordinary. He has won the Europa League. He has won the World Cup. He has been to the Euros finals, the Champions League final, to the World Cup final again. He has won the Nations League as well. His career has been incredible. It could have been much better, I know. It could have been much better if probably he hadn't gone to Barcelona in 2019. But what he has done, it's just commendable. It is something to be looked at as a legend of the game. Griezmann should be looked at as a legend of the game, as he's already a legend of Atletico. He is someone who became the unofficial captain of his teams, who became the presence that ensured his team's success in every game he played. And he did play every game for France for a long time. His streak just broke because of that injury. His versatility, his intellect, his awareness in the game, that is what has brought him forward. There are not many players who can do every role so well in a team. Griezmann is one of those rare players, one of those players who comes once or a few in a generation, and they just take everyone by storm. It's not like he hasn't contributed even in the recent years either. He has got 200 goals for Atleti. That is an insane feat. 200 goals is an insane feat to talk about. And he has done all that after he has left his attacking years behind, his years as a striker behind, his years as a forward behind. Griezmann is a once-in-a-generation player, in my opinion. And underrating him, underestimating him, underappreciating him is just not it. Anyone who has an eye for football, anyone who can see the game, who can read the game, would be able to tell you that Griezmann has been one of the most important, one of the most significant, one of the most underappreciated, one of the greatest players of his generation. He is the fourth highest scorer for France. He is, I think, the highest assister for France, or at least in the top 2 or 3. He has been third in the Ballon d'Or. He has won the Golden Boot, the Silver Boot. He has won the Bronze Ball at the World Cup. And he has done so much. He has done so much. And he has been everywhere on the pitch. He has done everything. Anyways, that was it for the video. If you liked it, click the like button, share, subscribe, and comment down below what your thoughts are on Griezmann. If you want to, you can visit my socials. Their link is in the description, and the link to my newsletter, which I would like you all to subscribe to. You can do that from the link. You can also subscribe to my Substack. I'm on Substack now. I am posting my articles on there as well. So if you want to, you can. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. This is Narush, signing off.